Welcome back to the Stuff for Whatever podcast. Your host BQuanchi here. Before we get started, I always like to say the best way to support me and the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch are the three main ones. BQuanchi all around. You can find links in the descriptions or about on the channel, all that. I really appreciate that because mainly I kind of want more of a following for Twitch and Twitter because those have been kind of more so Twitch, but kind of been not as eventful as YouTube, although YouTube kind of had a little spike for me. I think I did this last podcast, but yeah, just because I kind of posted more shorts, and some of the shorts have been kind of like re-uploads or just kind of like preserving, like, oh, I really like this ad for the Mario movie, so I want to have it on a channel or just have it somewhere and all that. So I probably don't do too much of that, but what I've also been working on is doing shorts for like... and I mentioned this before, again, who's listening, but any shorts about some previous videos I did, like more commentary videos or game reviews, that kind of like point to that, or just kind of more short form content, and also game like quick reviews. I might have to think about it more because it's like some games I want to do a longer review for. Some it'd be a cute little blurb, and also throw that on TikTok as well. I might have to update stuff to put TikTok as well. It's not like my big thing, but just something I've been playing around with, but not a huge thing. But I got a little rant for that as well. But I don't know, I would kind of like to hear any feedback or comments. Because I wanted to it's just kind of crazy how much subscribers kind of spiked. I might just see the short, like, ooh, I like that, and click subscribe, and not really caring about the channel and all that, and maybe see more of my uploads in the subscription fees and then feeds, and then just like, oh, screw this guy, like this guy's a loser. Which I don't mind. I get it. Like if you get really appealed or attracted to a certain video, and you realize I'm not really digging the channel, so no hard feelings. But I'm just kind of like curious. Like I see numbers, but I don't see too much besides that. Like a little few comments on like some of the shorts, but not really my personal shorts. And the short videos and all that, so kind of curious, but I don't know. I said it before, again, who's listening, but I would like to maybe have more, lack of a better word, like a community, do more like engagement with these solo podcasts, or because I haven't recorded one last week, so they've been kind of like documenting my thoughts, or if there's interesting things to talk about as well. But yeah, that's just kind of like my first initial thoughts for this week. But it is the week after Easter, and I had a good day because at the store they still had candy on sale, Easter candy on clearance. So more importantly, I have to say my favorite Easter candy is the Cadbury, not the cream eggs like we see so often. Cadbury makes these candy eggs like the like M&Ms, but like more chocolate, but it's to have a candy coating. So they have like one in like pastel colors and one in like the brighter rainbow. Those are my favorite, probably the best. Besides like a really good chocolate bunny, but I love those Cadbury like mini eggs, the little candy coated chocolate eggs. And they had some still on clearance, so I got extra of that. Besides that, Starburst jelly beans. Those are. I wish I would make those year round. I'm not sure we can find those, but Starburst jelly beans are also the goat when it comes to Easter candy. But besides buying candy for myself, not too much from Easter. Just don't think I ranted about that yet, since I didn't do a podcast last week, and no one's really watching my streams. But we'll see. And then, speaking of also streams, I'm kind of curious about, because I kind of fell into I guess kind of like a wormhole, because even some games I'm like, oh, let me Google that game that I played like back in the day. Especially MS-DOS games, like old PC games. And like, oh, those are actually on Steam and all that. And I played a few back in early, I think it was in over a year, maybe longer. I played Raptor Call, The Shadows. But recently I've been playing the Mega Race games, which have been interesting. I do want to do a video talking about the 3 games as well. But it's been really annoying because the Steam version uses like a MS-DOS emulator to launch the game, or like how they run the game. So it feels like the ports are very lazy. But also I found out like you can do, I Google search. I'm like, oh, you can find out a whole bunch of MS DOS games. I didn't realize they had so many on Steam. But I think if you just like search MS DOS games on Steam, there's like Steam powered like there's a page for like maybe like a creator page, what would you call it? They have all these games that run on MS DOS. So there's some other ones like, oh, that looks cool. I remember that game. So like, I might have to do that, but I kind of hate the emulation that they use because if you're trying to stream it, like it's weird with DOS because like it launches the game outside of Windows in a sense. So I can't use my shortcuts with Streamlabs to like take off my little video, my static image video and stuff like that. Unless I bet if you had a two screen monitor, I think that might work. I'm not sure how MS-DOS games work. If we had to set up with two monitors and all that. This gets kind of annoying to kind of control the stream, but also like I had to play around with the resolution with the OBS because it was like put it in the corner or not perfectly centered. But I think I have my magic. Cause it's funny, one Megawars game was just fine. The other one I had to really play around with the resolution. So I'm not sure if that's every MS-DOS game because I might play some other ones. I know talking about emulation and stuff like that. I've seen some pages that you can download or just play the games on their website. But I always have issues with that, like compared to like other emulators for like old school consoles or anything like that. But I always find MS-DOS emulation to be a pain. Even though it does seem like they have a really good library on Steam. Like you can find a lot of them on Steam. It just kind of wish they wasn't so lazy with it. Like I wish they would launch like its own game versus relying on an. I think each one like downloads the version of the emulator, but have it set up so you can just click it and it runs the game just fine. But yeah, I'm not sure who else really gets big into the MS-DOS games, but so I'm kind of curious to play. But at least I know how I could track at least the ones available on Steam, just because that's just easy. Plus, you're paying for it as well. So yeah, just kind of like some loose thoughts I've been thinking about in terms of what I want to play on stream on Twitch, and also those stream VODs you can upload here on the YouTube channel. So check that out if you feel like it. But yeah, just kind of look for stuff I want to play, new, old, retro revisits, stuff that you probably never heard of. Yeah, that's my thing. But I've been streaming a little bit less just because my home situation with my roommate, his days off changed. So it is possible, like I could, manage 3 streams. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait till I'm more of an affiliate because I think I'm at 100 and I know I'm over 160 streams, but still not an affiliate. But oh well. So next thing I want to talk about is revisit an old topic I talked about in the stream, but just kind of more of an update. But I mentioned I ordered something from this website called hullaboomall.com. And it's like one of the sites that have crazy cheap prices. Like, oh my gosh, like, it's a steal. It's too good to be true, which it is, because I mentioned I did an order for a bike, electric bike, like an actual, like, an impression of getting like an actual bike for less than $30. But I was kind of foolish because, just to recap, I didn't Google it. So, like, afterwards I like Googled it and like, oh, like every search result is a scam, saying this site's a scam. And that makes sense too. Like, I talked about some sus stuff about it too. But it was like, I was getting tracking emails. I was going to wait for an update. But it's kind of weird. Like, it was from China. And then for the past couple of weeks, it was like doing this thing. Like, if I try to do the tracking, it was like, oh, it's traveling. It's in the U.S. now, and it's traveling in the U.S. It's traveling in the U.S. It's traveling in the U.S. and not really updating. Because I was thinking that would be the case. And during this, I just decided to contact my credit card and have it disputed. Just through the credit card app that they have. It's a pretty easy process. I can't say that for all credit cards companies, but I just like did that on a transaction, just mention it, and I actually got refunded. And I said actually because I did work for a credit card company before, a different one, but a lot of times when you dispute something, there has to be like they'll contact the merchant to follow up the dispute. Like, oh, they really make this transaction. I think a lot of it's like for reoccurring subscription renewals and stuff like that. Like, oh, they did Amazon Prime trial and then they get charged for a full year and stuff like that. So they're seeing what's valid. Usually with these kind of issues, the best way is to resolve with the merchant directly versus going through your credit card. But with Halibut Mall, it's like I mentioned before, I can't email them. The phone number doesn't work, so there's no way to contact them. So I just did dispute the transaction on my app with my credit card, and they said it was resolved like right away. And I noticed some different things. Like I know some credit cards will like give you a credit for the transaction while they investigate the dispute or process the dispute. So sometimes you get this automatic credit, but it's temporary. Then once they resolve the dispute, saying, "Oh nope, that is valid. That merchant does keep the money," or "Nope, we are refunding that money to you permanently," and then they issue like the actual refund and remove the temporary one. Or if it's valid, they'll just take the temporary one. Because I remember talking to card members like that, getting confused about that. But even I got a little letter saying that the dispute has been resolved. So it's like, no, like pending investigation, this temporary credit. So this like refunded me. So I was kind of getting a little worried because I didn't know if that mean they contacted the merchant. It just happened so fast. I'm guessing not. I know some credit cards, like if the dispute amount transaction is such a small amount, they'll just like credit you back anyways. But they might keep track of stuff, so don't like keep disputing transactions to see what you can get away with. I don't recommend doing that. So I was like, okay, at least I got my money back. But I was like checking my history because I didn't want to see new surprise charges, because that's what's kind of worried about. Like, not just if I get something or not, is just that if they'll try to sneak in extra charges for some bullshit stuff, and they're like, oh. But everything looks good on that end, so that's good. But I guess the last thing is checking the email, like the tracking. For some reason, the link didn't work anymore, and then I was like trying to like type in the website or trying to go to stores. Like Halibut Mall, like doesn't exist anymore as a website. So I was like, okay, not sure if it just like died or was there some other issues with it. But the email did have the actual tracking number, so even though the website did have its own tracking, there was also, you can Google third parties like, track this. Some China Post was it? I tracked it, and then eventually like, oh, it's got delivered. No, it didn't, because it was a day I had off, so they didn't deliver to the door, and it was supposed to be a bike. So I was like, did I get something weird in my mailbox? But nope, nothing. So definitely a scam. I'm not sure, because I seen like I didn't dive into too much, but like a lot of clothing stuff, like it was like really cheap or something. But I didn't receive anything, even though the tracking said I did. But I got my money back, so that's good. And some weird things, like I remember when I was throughout like past month, like just checking up on it on tracking, like the website it took me to, like it seemed like it had like different stores within Halibut Mall, but it kept on popping up, you like shop bikey or she bike or something like that, and those names kind of popped around as well. Like they did a weird thing, like they use like different like store names or something, maybe depending on like the type of product you're buying, but weird. But I no actual loss for me, so that's good. So I guess when it comes to online shopping, if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. But definitely do some research before placing the order. Because if I would have done one quick little Google search, like, nope, not buying from that website. Pretty much trust Amazon is the main website to trust overlords at Amazon and all that. So that wraps up that little story. So next I wanted to talk about TikTok. And this, I'm not sure if anyone knows how to fix this issue with TikTok, because I haven't been using it for that long. I've been just kind of like experimenting and seeing, would this be worth just throwing content on there? Like trying to get it to point back to my YouTube or point back to my Twitch and stuff like that. So just kind of playing around with it, using it as an outlet and stuff like that. But TikTok's been doing this weird thing for me that it's like stopped showing the cover or the thumbnail or the preview of pictures. So if I look at my profile, all my videos look blank. Like I could still see the view count, but I can't see any of the thumbnails of where the video is. So I was going to look at one. I don't know which video it is unless I scroll through it or remember the exact order I uploaded videos. And then same thing happened. Like, no matter which profile I go to, I can't see covers of any video. So, like, if I went to someone's profile on TikTok, everything's blank. I see the view count, but I can't tell like what that video is about without clicking on it. And it's been really annoying. Like, I haven't been too much into consuming content on TikTok, so it's not like the biggest thing I care about. But it is like one of the pet peeves, like especially if I want to look like all my videos I have on my profile, but don't see the actual pictures. There's a bunch of blanks. They're there, but I can't see which one is which. And this has become more frustrating because I tried pointing an issue with TikTok, and TikTok support is like super frustrating. I think maybe I just have to take it with a grain of salt that it's like one of the biggest social media apps out there. They probably have like millions and millions of users, and probably I'm not sure if they're all like reporting issues or problems, but the support is just such a pain because I remember like mentioning an issue like, oh, try clearing your cache and all that. Like, okay, I'll try that because I know a little bit of troubleshooting, so I tried that. Nope, the issue's still there. And then like when I replied to them, it's like I don't hear anything back. Because they give you like, oh, if you have any additional questions, let us know. And like, oh, that didn't work. Like, now what? And then I bugged them again. And then they're like, oh, make sure you update the app. And like, I have the most updated version of the app. But it's like, nope, silence. And it is so irritating. Like, I've been mentioning on Twitter too. And that's another rant I want to make too. But eventually, like, oh yeah, the third one. This was annoying because I mentioned like, hey, I can't see the covers of the videos in a profile, any profile. And then someone said, oh, just they thought I meant that the cover, when you use like select a cover, like if you're changing the cover from your video before you uploaded, so if you're not seeing it, like close the app and wait. Like, no, it's not that I don't not seeing the cover I chose, is that I'm not seeing any covers. Although it's more like I'm not seeing a different cover than what I chose. So it's like, no, that's not the issue. Once you got something that's like, we're looking into this, we'll get back to you, but it's still been quite a while. Anything good to contacting me, but yeah, just so annoying. Because let's see, I'm just looking through the app and seeing the problem. Because last time they got back to me, and it's funny, I even got a review. And I was like, no, it's not helpful because they offer some troubleshooting. I try it, it doesn't work, and then it's like I had to pull teeth to get another response. Because that's the last thing I got was yesterday. Yesterday I got a thing that, hey, customer service survey or whatever, like a little short thing of feedback. And the day before, so it's been like 48 hours and I still haven't heard anything yet. I don't know if anyone out there knows this issue. I use an Android phone. I might have to send another reply. But yeah, for some reason, I just doesn't upload any thumbnails. So if I look at my profile, it's all blanks with a view count. The only thing that kind of slightly fixed it was when I uninstalled and reinstalled TikTok. It showed it again, but then eventually just kind of goes away. I'm not sure it's because I don't have everything enabled, like notifications or contacts and all that. But it's just weird. But like if I look into my notifications on the app, like activity and all that, like who likes your videos or who added videos to favorites, I see the thumbnail just fine. It's just that when I go to a profile, I don't see any thumbnails. It's pretty frustrating. But the last frustrating part about it is like when I was tweeting about it, it's like this one person, I'm not sure if it's like a person or a bot or something, but like clockwork, as soon as you mention, maybe not just the hashtag of TikTok, but like tweeting at TikTok support, like they might follow it something, like they quote retweet my tweet and say, oh, I have the same issue, like contact this account on Instagram. They've been really helpful. And the thing is, like, they did like 3 times in a row because I complained about this 3 times. If you look at their profile, they like have so many tweets. It's like copy and paste message, like, oh, I have the same problem. Oh, I have the same problem. I have the same problem. And they talk kind of like point to this Instagram page. When I check the Instagram page, it's private, maybe it might be helpful, but I don't want to like private them or DM them because I don't know like, oh, what's your login? Oh, we got your login now, kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if it's like a scam. I think if someone's like genuinely going to help somebody, like with the tech support team, like maybe give them suggestion in that tweet thread or stuff. Like don't try to like route them to another platform or route them to another account. Do private like, hey, recommend this. So if anyone knows how to fix that issue, I'm all ears. But clearing cache, reinstalling the app, that just didn't work. So I just can't see covers anymore on the TikTok with my profile and the other profile. But yeah, I've been kind of hassling. I had to bug them again, but just a major annoyance. And another thing I want to talk about this week, I'm kind of venting a little bit, but thinking about my love life and dating life and all that, which has been absent, like really absent. So I know it's more like thing just thinking out loud, and maybe some people can relate. Kind of good to hear, like, hey, you're not alone in this and all that. But I haven't had a date in over 7 years. I believe over 7 years. I just remember since 2016. Because that was a pretty eventful year in the U.S. But yeah, and when I say date, that also includes other stuff, more than dating or, in the bedroom, like adult stuff as well. And I don't know, so it's like technically I've been celibate, although, I still like the idea. It's just like I haven't haven't had much practice with it. But I don't know, it seems like my mentality these days is that I just don't feel that desperation. Like, I don't know, I have kind of like my own insecurity and stuff like that, and I still try to use the apps, but everything is so superficial with like this. I would say more so hookup apps, and even though I don't want to use them for a hookup, but it's like, I don't know, it just a bunch of pickup lines or like one-liners or stuff like that, and it's like, I don't know, I think I just have this weird thing, like, especially with the apps, like, these people don't really seem real. This is a profile pic on a phone, so. But if I had, like, more effort, like, actual, like, conversations, and I think a lot is I really question compatibility and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to, like, put myself out there, and then, like, we don't have much in common, we don't really vibe much, because I don't want to feel like I'm leading someone on and feel obligated to date and stuff like that. And then I also have my own, I guess you can say insecurity. I don't know why I'm so like that when it comes to like romantic or dating partners or stuff like that. But I get really weird when it comes to compliments. Maybe not weird, but just insecure. Because I always get that mindset either like, hey, they don't know me, so they probably like don't know any better, or just saying that like just to get my attention, make me feel good, and then I'll do this and that. It's like someone lying to your face, and that's not really rational and all that. But I get that feeling sometimes when, oh, you're so handsome, you're so hot, or whatever, and like, and I'm definitely not the hottest, whatever guy. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words with this, but like, I would say I'm attractive. I would say I'm handsome, but sometimes I just really don't feel like I am. Like, why would somebody be into this? My body type's kind of average. Like, it could be a lot worse. Maybe a little better, but I think a lot of times, I can be very comfortable. And there's things I get bad about when it comes to like eating habits or lacking the exercise and stuff like that. But I can do better. But I could do a lot worse. That's it. So. But yeah, it just kind of feels that relief that I don't have like stress or get so emotional. Like if someone likes me, if someone's going to still talk to me or grow a relationship more. Because I would say ultimately I would like to have that, but it just like, it's not happening, and maybe the lack of trying. But I'd rather try with someone who's worth it than someone who's not. So I think just me overthinking it way too much too. But I guess it's good to hear, just kind of think about it. Because there's times I've been really desperate and stuff like that. But there's other stuff I kind of laugh about. Speaking of these dating apps, like, one of them gets really weird. Like, you can tell that these are definitely not real people, like whatever photo of a person. Because, like, their profile it just has a link like check out my nudes here and stuff like that. Like it's almost like got copy and paste. I seen like canned messages, like oh check out me here. And all that. I think some are worse than others in terms of the platform, the app. But I remember this one I kind of questioned because like someone like, hey gorgeous, like how about you have daddy spoil you and stuff. How would you like to be spoiled by daddy and stuff like that? And they put a phone number, and that's like a huge red flag. Like I made it like a point. Like I have my own like, I guess you can say rules like when it comes to that kind of stuff. But a big one is like, you're not going to get my phone number unless we meet in person. We can contact through the app, continue to use that until we meet. And because I get really protective with my phone number in a sense, like I don't want people to have it. I don't want to worry about blocking somebody or changing my number and stuff like that. So if someone said first message is sending you a phone number, like, nope, I'm not texting that. I'm not calling that. Nope. Because it's funny, you can see these profiles like after a couple of days, they just kind of like disappear. I think that's just them getting reported or deleted. But the thing is, this guy or account, I don't want to say guy because it's probably not maybe not even a real person, but they messaged me again. But they had like the same kind of message. It's the phrasing was a little bit different, but it had like the hey gorgeous, spelled by daddy, and a phone number. One phone number was local, one wasn't, but still really sus. And also kind of fun. I think they use the same profile pic because sometimes you'll see like different names in different things. But it was just kind of weird because they kept details the same. Like the photo and name, I'm pretty sure the same. But I did remember like an account, they had this relationship status as widow. And the job was game designer. I was like, that would be cool if you were real. I wouldn't mind dating a game designer. That'd be really cool. Interesting. And even like weight and height, like I kind of kept the messages. Like I was hoping they would message me one more time, so I could like, hey, this is your third time canned messages from a third account. But yeah, I just be careful out there because like phone numbers. I think even I have one that maybe was a real person, but like no, I don't know if it was like desperate or something like that. But like no, you're not getting my digits until we meet, and I'm comfortable with that. But yeah, I don't know if it's kind of like a relief. I don't know if it even means that I'm an incel or something just because I've been kind of like celibate. But I was like, I do like, adult videos and stuff like that. So it's not like I have no desire or, when it comes to the sex stuff or whatever. But it's just like, I think part of it is just I enjoy my solitude, and it just really has to take someone special to maybe enjoy the company more than I enjoy my solitude. I think that's a good way of putting it. But yeah, because I'm even back today, like desperate to go out drinking more often or going out to dinners and like spending like most of my money on dates. Like, because being a gay man, it's not like even though like straight couples do that these days, where like the man always pays and stuff like that. But like buying dinner or buying drinks and stuff like that, or sometimes there be a back and forth. It's depending on things. It is like you going Dutch and you pay for your stuff, but definitely not eating out as much or drinking out. So that kind of saves me a little bit. But yeah, I just think I have a pretty good mindset and not that desperation. And again, there's nothing wrong with like really wanting to seek relationships and love and those kind of commitments with another partner, husband, wife, etc. Although I'm not sure how different it goes from person to person. Like if it's someone like wanting kids and they had a biological ticking clock and stuff like that. But like I'm fine. Like it would be nice to have something one day. But I don't know. It just feels like there's no one like me, and not that I have to like date myself, but I don't know. Again, like I said, I worry too much about compatibility and all that. So let's have to see one day. But if not, I'm happy either way. And it kind of helps to talking to this microphone, even though it's a solo podcast and no one's listening to you. So it's kind of like having a therapist who's not really there, not really helping. So kind of like a membership to BetterHelp. But I guess one quick thing I want to do with this podcast, I did pull up some stories. Sometimes I do a segment called Whatever Report. So let's just do some weird news just to bump the length a little bit before we call this a podcast. So the first news story is that New York City names its first ever rat czar. So this has been in the news a bit that New York, I glancing through, I'm trying to think, is it just New York City? I know there's like a lot of big parts of New York with all the, which one is called, the provinces or whatever. I'm not from New York, so I don't know too much about it. But there's been such an issue with like rats, infestation, and stuff like that. I know back in the day, people were like, oh, it's pizza rat and stuff like that. But like rats is like a huge problem. And okay, since the mayor had a $3.5 million like plan for rat mitigation, but I guess it's like hiring people like to be what quote unquote a rat czar and like a person like killing or cleaning up rats. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, but it's help with sanitation. I'm not sure what the job details, but it's giving someone like a title. So I think they need clean up or maybe exterminate. I don't know why it's different from like an actual exterminator, or why can't they hire more professionals. I'm not sure what this is. I didn't watch a video. But yeah, it's like basically there's a rat czar. Just I thought that was kind of like a funny little term or title for somebody. So yeah, I guess New York is working on the rat problem. Okay, this next it's kind of a funny story too. This has to do with Walmart. I think this has to do with Earth Day or something, because there was a T-shirt that had some issues with it. But it was like kind of like about like Earth Day and recycling, because it has a hidden vulgar word. So basically, on the shirt, it's a green shirt and it has like the two big letters R-E, re, and next to it you have smaller words and it says cycle. So recycle, use, reuse, new, renew, and think, rethink. So how everything lines up with the words and all that. You have cycle, C, use, U, new, N, think, T. So yeah, I can at least say, I think last time I said it on the podcast, I think YouTube actually caught that and demonetized me. But pretty much, see you next Tuesday. So that's kind of a funny thing, but Walmart had this shirt. I always kind of want to buy it, but I'm not sure if you can. I wonder if it's thing like people just buy a shit ton of it and then they try to sell it online and jack up the price, but kind of a funny thing that whoever designed the shirt let that slip by, whoever like approved it, all that. But pretty much about 4 little letters C word on a T-shirt. Kind of a little funny story. And next one, not too much about this. It's just kind of like a funny headline. This is a Florida story in St. Johns County, and there were thousands of potatoes scattered along the Interstate 95. I'm sorry. This is like a vehicle crash, but yeah, I'm just looking at a picture like, oh my god, it's like all those potatoes. They could have been French fries, and maybe they can brush them off. Like potatoes in the dirt, anyways, or on the side of the road. So it's kind of a weird story. Hopefully, no one got hurt. I'm like looking through that. Collided, one flipped. Okay, it said no one was taken to the hospital. Someone had some knee pain. So there wasn't anything like too bad of an accident. It didn't look like there, besides the semi, I don't think too much like vehicle damage. But it's like crazy how that truck just like poured out all those potatoes, all this poor potatoes, and all that. But kind of a funny story just to see potatoes in Florida. And this last story I want to talk about, I think like Philip DeFranco talked about it too, but talked about more like scams and people using like AI or deep fakes to like impersonate people's voices. And it's kind of scary because I think with like social medias like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, like so many people have the voices out there and stuff like that. But someone got a call from unfamiliar number, with his daughter. It's interesting because it was a voicemail, because I know a lot of these scammers try not to use voicemail because they don't want any people calling them back, just because it's hard to like keep track of stuff. But maybe they have their own like scripts and stuff like that they keep with it. But yeah, it's really scary. Like they think like the daughter got kidnapped and stuff like that, and it's like don't call the police. And a lot of times they asking for like a big sum of money. Usually you see like an outrageous amount that they're not expecting. They have like the person that's trying to scam like go lower and like, okay, we'll take that at least. Um, and I don't think this is the same story I heard from other outlets, but it's crazy that even more than one story. But it happens a lot because this is nothing too surprising. Like some people try to impersonate on their own, like they like make the phone connection seem bad and all that. So yeah, it gets crazy out there. But yeah, but I guess they get find out. But I think the big thing is like if you think someone's like your daughter, son, or family member in trouble, especially if it's like from an unfamiliar number, try to contact them, like call them directly, call them or contact them on social media. Because I think a lot of people just get so freaked out, and I think with the saying like this is so convincing that they just like believe it, and it's like go like, okay, we need our daughter back, or we need to make sure our family member's okay. Versus like I think that story I heard like someone said they were in jail and stuff like that and try to get money out of them. And back in the day, like they would say like, maybe it still happens like, oh, buy a bunch of gift cards from Best Buy or iTunes and stuff like that, and try to get like gift cards numbers and stuff like that. So don't fall for that, but it gets really crazy because you don't want the worst to happen. Like I don't know if it's too many people like seeing the movie Taken and like worried the worst, but like take a second to like call. Even though it's very convincing, it could be fake. It does get scary with like AI and voice cloning and all that. But I guess that's kind of like a little PSA to end this podcast on. So that will do it. So thanks for listening. Again, let me know if anyone's actually listening, just because we're I say like it's a tumor. Like I got some weird growth going on here. But there's been a spike in subscribers. I don't think they came from me, but we'll see. Maybe they might pique the interest because that's other stuff I want to put on the channel, but I've just been really lacking with it. So we'll see. Don't have just like put like tier list. Those actually been doing a little bit better than like my VODs, but some of them are kind of getting better. Some of my like gameplay, let's play like uploads do a little better, but let's have to wait and see. I could complain more, rant more, but I think this is a good place to stop it for this week. So I'm not sure how frequent I'm still going to do the podcast, but I want to get one out there, especially since honestly, I think my subscriber count like maybe almost doubled it. And it's like, it doesn't feel real because it's like, oh, people just probably just clicking subscribe and not caring about the rest of the account, the channel, all that. But yeah, that'll do it. So y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye.